All right. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Tech for Senior. Hewie, episode 271. Not bad. You're muted.
I see that. Yep, not bad. We're just having so
271.
much fun, and time flies when you're having fun.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. So, anyway, welcome everyone. This is, of course, we do appreciate you coming and being here and watching our show today. We have a really, I think, a very interesting show, of course, as we always do, but some very special presentations today, which I think you'll find very interesting. We of course have our Thursday show. Please remember that. We have the Thursday gang, and we'll be talking this Thursday about all the tech news of the week. But just to remind everybody, we are taking July off on our Thursday show. So we will, of course, be running this show all the time. We won't be taking holidays, but for the Thursday show, we will be taking the month of July off. So there will be no Thursday show for the month of July, but this show will, of course, continue on, and that'll be lots of fun. So we also have today, as a part of our um, premiere video, we'll be having our three selections today, and it will be, of course, Huey's going to be talking on God mode. No, Huey's not God, but this is God mode in Windows. So, so God mode in Windows, and Huey's going to talk all about that. And of course, Chris is going to talk about what's new in Google Photos a year ago. And so that'll be fun. And I'm going to talk about protecting your social security number. And those will be the videos that we have in the presentation. And of course, if you wanted to find all that information before the show today, you could, of course, seen it in our Saturday newsletter. So I want to be sure that everybody has subscribed and does watch for our Saturday newsletter. We have, of course, a quiz each Saturday, and I'm happy to report. Carl lets me know today that he got 100% on the Saturday quiz. So well done, Carl. I think that's excellent. I'm going to make it a little tougher next week. I think I'll make it a little difficult and see if you get it as well. We want to thank our sponsors for our Saturday newsletter, of course, which is the Glendora Seniors Computer Club in California. Of course, Geeks on Tour as they travel around on their residential cruise ship. Thank you so much for sponsoring us, and of course, APCUG. Today we have some very interesting presentations. Chris is going to, of course, talk about Google Photos. Drew's going to talk about Dex, which we've talked a little bit about. If you just came in, we talked a little bit about that before the show. Huey, what did you do this week that you've never done before?
I took an Uber ride.
That's right. Yeah, they talk all about that. And you know what? I have a new shopping buddy, and it's called Chat GPT. I'm going to tell you all about my shopping exploits with Chat GPT. So I think it should be fun. So I'm going to introduce everybody now. Of course, we will be seeing. Let me introduce our gang today, and we'll start out, of course, with my co-host, who's been around since day one, Hewie Poplock.
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah. How far was your Uber ride?
It wasn't far, only a couple of miles
A
to a
couple of
grocery
miles.
store. Did some grocery shopping and then had them pick me up and take me home.
There you go. There you go. And of course, we have Bill James here. Bill, you're looking dapper as usual. You've got your gigabit connection up and down. You've got your new computer systems there. You are a fast looking guy.
And guess what?
What?
Thanks to Drew, I just discovered that I can connect Dex to my LG TV. I have it going now. Wirelessly. I'm blown away.
I know you learn something, don't you, on the show, right?
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Isn't
Yes,
that cool?
it's connected to my cell phone.
There you go. There you go. Well, that's pretty cool. And of course, we have Chris and Jim Guld here. Chris, so you can unmute yourself. Tell me, Chris, where exactly? I know I saw your show yesterday, and it was a great show. If you did not see Chris's show, if you didn't see Chris's show yesterday, you need to for sure need to do that. Are we getting some interference?
We're getting an echo from Chris and Jim.
Oh, okay. Maybe Chris and Jim have both their phones on or something.
Or
Getting an echo. Anyway, welcome, Chris. It was a good show yesterday. We had a lot of. It was very interesting to see all the cruise ships. They did a big tour of the cruise ship, and it was great. Actually, I'm not going to say it's a cruise tour of their cruise ship. They did a tour of their home, right?
right.
They did a tour of their home, so it worked out really well.
Can you hear me?
Yep. We can hear you.
Can you hear me? Okay, because yes, for an hour-long live YouTube and then an hour Zoom afterwards yesterday, our internet worked flawlessly, and we seem to be having some issues this morning. With Zoom, yeah.
It's.
Are you still in San Diego?
We are, and we're here until tomorrow afternoon. We're here for 3 days. It's nice how they do that.
Yeah.
And we're docked right next to the Midway
Aircraft
carrier
museum.
Yeah, it's cool.
And yeah,
soon to be in Victoria. I think everyone in Victoria is getting excited about your presentations and all the things you're going to be doing.
Oh,
we're on our way.
You're on your way.
Slowly.
All right. Great. Well, I've got your presentation. I'll run it for you. Maybe I'll ask you just to mute yourself, just so we don't get any more interference there. If you just mute yourself, that'd be great. And of course, we have Mike Leahman from Moncton, New Brunswick. Hello, Mike. And he has I did peek, and you have a bang up outro today, music outro for us today. I'm not going to tell everyone what it is, but it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And last but not least, we have, of course, the star of the show who has this great video we're going to watch, Drew King. Thank you, Drew, so much for doing the video today. I think it'll stimulate a lot of interest and a lot of good things. So we'll talk more about that I'm sure there'll be lots of questions for the Q&A. All right, let's get going today with what we should get going. I don't think there's anything else I was going to mention. Let's get going with the first one. The first one will be, of course, Chris's Google Photos. Let's have a look here, what she has to say.
Hi, I'm Chris Guld with Geeks on Tour, and this is Fun with Photos. Have you ever taken a trip and you missed getting that one shot that you really wanted? Well, we just spent a couple days in Hilo, Hawaii, and I got a few nice pictures. Here's our ship at dock, and we took a helicopter ride, and this is the downtown market. Fun stuff. But I saw these beautiful monkey pod trees, and when we were on the shuttle bus in between the cruise ship and downtown. But I was on the wrong side of the bus to take a picture. I want a picture of those monkey pod trees. I thought they were so cool. So somebody said, oh, just go grab a picture from the internet. Well, okay, let me show you a couple tips about that. So I could go to a web browser and just search for monkey pod trees. And I just want images. I don't want to know about monkey pod trees. I just want to see pictures of them. But you can't just grab any picture because they might be copyrighted. So here's my tip. If you want to do it this way, you go to Tools and Usage Rights. This bar that opens up down here, Usage Rights and Creative Commons License. That means that they are not completely copyrighted. You still might need to give credit, but they're not completely copyrighted. And you can look through here, and I might say, okay, I like that picture. I want to see what the copyright is. License details. And it tells me that you are free to share, copy, and redistribute any way you want, as long as you give appropriate credit. So then I would just grab that picture and I could use it in my photos. But I want those monkey pod trees, the ones that I saw on the road in between the cruise ship and the downtown. So I'm going to go to Google Maps and look at Street View and see if I can find them. First on the computer, and then I'll show you on the phone. So on the computer, I go to maps.google.com, then I go to Hilo, and now I need to find the place on the street where those were. So here's where the ship was, here's downtown, and this is what can take a while. It can take a while to find them. I'm pretty sure that they were right near this intersection. So how do I get to Street View? Well, there's this little guy in the very bottom right corner. And just in case he's covered up with something, let me change the size of the screen. He's called Pegman. So he's a way to peg a spot on the map. You just grab him. And then notice that there's this green dot that follows him along, and all the roads turn blue. Those are the roads that have Street View attached. I just drop him off where I want to start looking at Street View. Now I can scroll around. Okay, that might be them right there. Let me see, I need to get a little bit further away, so I'll go over to this side of the road and then spin around. And then you can use your scroll wheel to zoom in and zoom out. It's tricky, but no, those weren't them. There they are over there. So you travel along the road by just clicking on the road in the direction where you want to go. You can look down at the miniature here to see if you're traveling in the right direction. Notice that little Pigman is facing that way. If I turn around and start going this way, you'll see the arrow in this miniature. So you go the right way, get in position. Those are the monkey pod trees. I want to be over on this side of the street, and then I can click and drag until I get the screen showing the scene that I want. Those are the monkey pod trees I saw. Aren't they cool? So now I need to get a screenshot. Now, I use a software called Snagit for this, but you'd have to pay for that. So I'm going to show you the built-in way with Windows is with snipping tool. You hold down the Windows key, the Shift, and the S. Now, if you're on a Mac, it's Command, Shift, and 4 to capture a screenshot. So Windows, Shift, and S. And now my cursor is a crosshairs. And I can drag what I want. And when I let go, it has captured a screenshot. Now I want to go get that screenshot and put it into Google Photos. So where is it? It's gone to my pictures folder under the Chris folder in a folder called screenshots. But I want to put it directly into Google Photos. So I'm going to take you to Google Photos, and then you click this plus to go get a photo. Import photos. And you need to be in your folder under pictures and screenshots. To show you completely how to get there, it would be this PC, local disk, users, your name, and then pictures and screenshots. And there it is. So I have gone to Google Photos, told it I want this photo, and bring it in. Voila! I have the photo as if I took it. Now you might ask, is Google Maps images completely copyright free? No, you do have to give attribution, they call it. So in the description, I'm going to type monkey pod trees from Google Street View. But that just really makes me happy. And if I wanted to, I could even use my phone to view that picture and use Magic Eraser to get rid of that light pole in the middle. Wouldn't that be nice? All right, now I promise to show you how to do this same thing on the phone. So on the phone, you go into Google Maps. First, I want to get to ℸ𝕉𝕗. Now I need to find that spot. I say that's where the cruise ship was, and this is downtown. It was right by ℙ𝕝𝕝𝕝. I think it was right at this intersection. Now, there's no ℙ𝕝𝕝𝕝 on Google Maps on the phone, but all you do is touch and hold on the spot where you want to go, and then here is the image of the street view. If you want to go to street view, you tap there. And now to navigate around, you tap on the screen. You see these arrows? There's an arrow going forward and one going backwards. You just tap on the arrow, or if you want to go further down the road, you double tap to get further down the road. If you want to change directions, you touch and drag. You can drag around to wherever you want to go. But I see my trees. I see my trees right there. I get in front of them, cross the street, change my view so I see my trees. Now I want a screenshot of that. Every phone is a little bit different, but most all of them you can take a screenshot by holding the power button and either the down volume or the up volume. So power and down volume, I've now taken a screenshot. Since it's on my phone, that screenshot is going to show up in my Google Photos. Go to Google Photos, and there is that screenshot. Now, if yours doesn't show up, it means that you haven't told Google Photos to be watching the screenshot folder. You would do that under Collections and on this device. Mine doesn't have a screenshot folder, so they automatically come in, but yours might. Now I can edit and crop and save. Now I have my monkey pod trees. I could leave the description that they came from Google Street View. I could add them to an album so that all my friends and family will see them. Aren't they cool? I like my monkey pod trees. I'm Chris Guld with Geeks on Tour.
Well done, Chris. I like your onboard studio. That really worked out well. I think you very professionally produced in your new onboard studio. I like your side lighting, which I think is the light of the window. That looks really nice. Yeah, you don't need a accent light on the one side. Well done. Good stuff. All right. Next, how to use your smartphone like a computer. Of course, we're going to talk. This is Drew King's presentation that he did today. I wanted just to give a preamble for those of you who weren't here for the little talk we had before the show started. This is really a video about an interesting feature that is on Samsung. It's been on Samsung for a couple of years. It's called Samsung Dex, and it allows your phone to connect to a computer monitor, and it formats it, and you can use it, as I think Drew says, almost like a Chromebook with a wireless keyboard and mouse. And you're going to say, well, why would we do that? Well, we can now do this with the new Apple iOS coming out on their iPhones. You can now do this on an iPhone, and of course with the new Android 16, you can do it on an Android phone as well, which you'll be able to connect to a monitor. Because as we move forward and these smartphones get faster and faster and faster, they are a replacement for your computer, and a lot of young people are using them for that. So I think this is very appropriate as we're moving forward over the next 5 years. I think this is going to be a big deal. So let's see what Drew's going to show us how he did it. And I think that really interesting. So let's see how this works.
Welcome to an introduction to Samsung Dex, which is DEX, and it stands for Desktop Experience. And it's available on Samsung Galaxy phones. And when you plug your phone into a monitor, like I have, Desktop Experience starts and produces what you're seeing on the screen right now. My phone screen looks just like a regular phone screen. In fact, I'm reading my notes for the video on my phone screen while I have this desktop up and running. And the Samsung has had this for a few years. Google Pixel just came out with the ability to install version 16 of Android operating system, and that includes a desktop experience program as well. It's not identical to Samsung's, but it's the same concept. And Apple is going to have a desktop operating system for their phones when they release version 26 of iOS. So, how is my phone connected right now? My phone happens to be directly connected to a docking station. And the docking station is one that I bought for my Dell laptop. And it has a cable that plugs into the bottom of the phone. It's USB-C. And the docking station has USB ports on it, and it has monitor inputs on it. And I have a cable running from my monitor's HDMI port into a DisplayPort connector on the docking station. My mouse is a wireless mouse connected with a 2.4 gigahertz dongle that's plugged into the docking station, and my phone recognized it immediately when I plugged it into the dock. And I have a little micro keyboard that I'm using here on my desk, and that's connected to my phone using Bluetooth. So I've got 2.4 gigahertz for the mouse and Bluetooth for the keyboard. I could just as easily have used Bluetooth for both. The monitor is a 24-inch or 26-inch LCD display monitor that has HDMI outputs. So that's how my phone is connected to the computer. You can also connect your cell phone and run Dex on smart TV over the protocol called Miracast. Samsung Galaxy phones use Miracast to transmit wirelessly to either a Samsung TV, an LG TV, or in my case, an Amazon Fire Stick. So if you don't have a TV that supports Miracast, you can get yourself an inexpensive Fire Stick and run the Samsung Dex on your TV if you would like to, and if you have a Samsung phone. The next question is, how did I make this video? Over here in the right-hand side, I have an icon called X Recorder, and X Recorder is running right now, and it's what's recording my video here. And it was installed from the Google Play App Store, because all of these apps that you're seeing on the desktop are Android apps that are on my phone. They're not separate apps. Okay, so here's the desktop, and these icons I put, except for settings and gallery, I put these on the desktop myself. These are all links to applications. They're basically shortcuts, just like you would have on a desktop in Windows. I can launch any of these apps by simply clicking on the icon. If I click on the Google Play App Store, I can go in here and search for software that I want to load, just like I could do on my phone. One of the things that you can do here that you can't do on your phone is run multiple windows, just like you can do on a regular operating system. Down at the bottom here is a taskbar, and these applications, a couple of them are running, and like this one, and these are all just pinned to my taskbar, similar to the way that you would pin an app to your taskbar in Windows. And I even attended a meeting last week with my cell phone and Zoom. This is the Android version of Zoom, and I went to Amazon and bought myself a small little holder that goes on my desk for the phone so I can be seen with the camera. So that's the desktop layout of the screen. And the app menu, where all of my Android apps are, is down here in the left-hand corner. In the right-hand corner, I can select an on-screen keyboard, I can take a screen capture, I can modify my sound settings, my video setting, notifications, Wi-Fi, and things like that. This menu here are all of my Android apps that are on my cell phone. So if I click here, it brings up a list of apps. And I can click on this little arrow and scroll through my apps. And if I want to put an app on the desktop, and I can also search for apps up here, I can add, let's see, I'm not going to do a search. I'm going to just pick one of the files off the desktop, and I'll just grab Fair Email. I don't know, or Fandango. I'll grab Fandango. And what I do with the mouse is I right click on the mouse, and then I say add to home screen. And now I have Fandango on my home screen right here. And if I click on it, it'll run. And I don't know how well it's going to run because this is my first time running Fandango on here. I'm going to try another app that I know works. Oops. Here's Fandango. And here are movies. So here are movies this weekend, coming soon. It hasn't pulled them up yet. I don't know why. Here are the theaters that are near where I am. Anyway, this is an app, and I can move it around the screen and put it wherever I want. And I have the ability, if I want to I'm going to open my browser. This is my Brave browser, and I have it to right now going to a forum for a product called Free File Sync, and I'm scrolling with my mouse, and I'm going to put that over here, and then I'm going to open Thunderbird. I have Thunderbird on my Android phone, and this is how I read my email. And this is my email program, and I can load my text messaging app. These are all my text messages. I sent a picture to my brother-in-law, and if I want to, I can go over here and type and do whatever I want to do. So, and that's using a keyboard rather than my cell phone. So you're sitting at a desk and you're running all of these apps. And I'm going to close this out so you can see I just got a new email message, and another one, and another one. So this is how you run multiple windows on the screen at the same time. And I've opened this, and I'm going to now show you how I can connect to my Windows computer. I am going to connect to my Windows computer using the program My Files. And here is network storage. And I'm going to click on first MSI SFTP. And here is my home folder using SFTP as my protocol. And here is my laptop using Windows SMB sharing. And this is my downloads folder on my Windows machine. And if I want to, I can select, let me select a file. And then I can choose here, create a folder. I'll select it. And now I can copy it, I can move it, I can share it. If I choose to copy it, it's copied to the clipboard, and then I could choose to move it anywhere I want to move it to. If I want to go to someplace on my cell phone, I can go to my internal storage on my cell phone and put it wherever I want to put it. That's the file manager. And the last thing I want to show you is how I can use a program called ℙ𝕝𝕝𝕝. This is a remote control software program. And I'm going to click there. And this is my Windows machine, my Windows 11 computer. I'm going to double click on that. And I've saved my user ID and password. And I'm going to say OK. And it's going to connect to my Windows computer. And I'm going to click through these windows because these are just telling me how to use the program. And now I'm on my Windows computer. And if I want to go into Mozilla Thunderbird, I can, and you can see the mouse is tracking on the screen. So I can click on Programs, minimize the browser window. I can go to Copilot. Here is a program that's on my screen. These are my notes. This is open on my phone right now, but it doesn't have to be. This is actually my Windows computer. So here, I got my taskbar, and I'm running Windows. And my desktop is currently being viewed. And I can control this here, move it around, and let's see if I can open. I don't know why I can't open my start menu. Oh, that's my start menu for my cell phone. Oops, I just saw it. There it is. There's my start menu. And if I want to, I can load programs and control my Windows machine. So that is an overview of Samsung Dex by Drew.
All right, very interesting, very interesting. Hopefully there'll probably be lots of questions in the Q&A. And all right, Hewie.
I want to preface this a little bit. I'm getting to the age where I'm not driving a whole bunch. I live on a main street in Bradenton, Florida. Right in front of the community I live in, there's a bus stop. In Manatee County, my local county, the buses are free. So I could go anywhere in the county. If I want to go to Sarasota County, Sarasota City, which is just south of me, I think it's $1.50. So I could use the bus. But I can also use Uber. And so I'm considering selling my 11-year-old car so I don't have to pay the 700 and some odd dollar every 6 month insurance. I won't have any upkeep. I don't have to put gas in it, and save myself quite a bit of money. And in the long run, when I Uber to go somewhere, I don't think I'm going to spend as much as it's going to just cost me to just run the car and just not have a car. So I'm really considering that. So let's see what I did to start my gathering information. Do you hear it?
No, we don't.
Okay, I'm not sure. Let's see. Stop share. Let's do this again. And, oh, I see what I did wrong with advanced video file. Share. There we go. And
Did you enable audio?
all set. Taking a test ride toward a car-free future. I'm Hewie Poplock. I want to share with you a personal story. My very first experience using Uber. As someone exploring alternatives to car ownership, this was a big step, and I thought it might be helpful to share what I learned from it. Embracing change, letting go of my car. I'm trying to make the decision to give up my car. Between the rising costs of maintenance, insurance, and the fact that I don't drive very often anymore, I thought it might be time to try something new. And that's when I turned to ride sharing, and Uber seemed like a good place to start. The setup journey. I downloaded the Uber app and set up my account. It was pretty straightforward until I tried to enter my address. Because I live on a private street, the app had some trouble locating me. It would point to where I lived, but it would give an address of the street behind me. But I was able to manually pinpoint my location on the map, and from there things started to fall into place. Booking the first ride, my destination was to Detweiler's, a local grocery store. The driver found me without any issues, and the ride was very smooth. What really impressed me was the real-time map. It showed exactly where the driver was, how long it would take him to reach me, and the route we would take. It gave me a sense of reassurance and control. Here is that first Uber ride approaching where I live. And I had a choice to choose my ride. And it told me the approximate price and the amount of time it would take for it to get to me. And then as it got closer to me, I saw on the map a car that represented the driver, and then where he was and the route that he was going. Map magic. Honestly, the Uber map felt more accurate than the Google Maps. I guess that makes sense. These drivers are on the road constantly, and the platform benefits from real-world driving data. It really felt like I was a part of the journey before I even stepped into the car. My first driver was Elise. The second driver, same smooth ride. The return trip was also a pleasant surprise. I had a different driver this time, very friendly, talkative, and polite. He offered to help with my grocery bags, which I appreciated, even though I didn't need assistance. He also mentioned Uber's subscription option, which I could help save money if I used it regularly. You'll notice I circled on the picture of David where his phone was. And Elise also had the phone in that location. Even though they had maps on their console, they were using their phone, which used the Uber map, which was much more aligned to where they needed to go. Two different drivers, one consistent experience. The first driver didn't speak much English, so we didn't talk much. He was very professional. The ride was smooth. The second driver was engaging and courteous. Both experiences made me feel safe and comfortable, which is really important when trying something new like this. And those are the fees that it cost. It split them up a little bit differently for each one. The first one was the trip fare was going to be $6.89 with a $3.08 booking fee. which would have made it $9.97, which is the exact same price as the return, except they didn't break it out. So I'm not sure why that is, whether it's a difference in the drivers or what causes that. But either way, it was the same amount. My takeaway? I was pleasantly surprised at how easy and enjoyable the whole process was. From the setup of the actual rides, I felt empowered using the app, and the customer service from both drivers was top notch. I really changed how I think about getting around without owning a car. And looking ahead, after this experience, I'm definitely open to using Uber again. I'll be trying more destinations, possibly exploring Uber's ride passes and savings plans. I can already see this being a convenient and cost-effective lifestyle change. I wouldn't have to pay my car insurance. I wouldn't have to pay upkeep on the car. I wouldn't have to spend money for gasoline. So I'm kind of toying with the idea that the costs in the long run, it's going to be cheaper by the year than what it is to maintain an automobile. And I don't have to do the driving. And final thought, so that was my first step into the world of ride sharing. If you've been considering trying it or even giving up your car, I hope my story offers a little encouragement. Taking a test ride toward a car-free future. I'm Hewie Poplock. A good experience. It was suggested, I did post that video on my channel, and somebody made the comment that I should try Lyft, and that is going to be my next video and my next experience. I'll try Lyft, which is another company that does the same thing.
All right. Thanks, Huey. All right. I have a new shopping buddy I got to tell you about. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a brand new feature inside Chat GPT that just makes you change how you shop online. Whether you're searching for the perfect air purifier or trying to find a gift under $50, Chat GPT's new shopping assistant makes the process smarter and easier. Now, this is available to all Chat GPT users. It works on the mobile and desktop versions, and it's powered by built-in web browsing. Anyone using ChatGPT can access the shopping feature. No subscription is required. It works on both desktop and mobile and uses built-in web browsing to deliver real-time product results. Here's how it works. Just type in what you're looking for. ChatGPT will search online, compare options, and give you product names, prices, images, and buy links. It's like Google Shopping, but a way easier to use. For example, type best cordless vacuum for under $300 or top tablets for seniors, and ChatGPT will return options from trusted sources with everything you need to make an accurate decision. Now, ChatGPT Shopping is loaded with smart features. You can also refine your search, ask follow-up questions, and get summaries that highlight pros and cons. It's like chatting with a personal, tech-savvy friend. Now, there are a lot of benefits to using ChatGPT Shopping. No more flipping between tabs or getting stuck on scammy websites. ChatGPT saves time and gives you straightforward results that you can trust. Now, what are some of the limitations? Well, remember, you still buy from the store's website. ChatGPT won't process the payment. It just helps you choose. Think of it as a research assistant, not a shopping cart. Now, this is a huge advantage for seniors because of its simplicity. Hey, you just ask it. Just use your voice to ask ChatGPT, let's say, to find shoes for foot pain under $100, and it's going to do it for you. This is especially useful to seniors. Just speak or type your request like you would to a friend. Chat GPT understands plain English and even works with voice typing on mobile. So let's give it a try. We can use it for gifts, gadgets, or groceries. Just ask your question and you're ready to go. Try it out on your next shopping task and let us know in the comments what you'd search for first. All right, let's give this a try. I'm in Chat GPT using Chat GPT 4.0. I am a 70-year-old man with foot pain. Can you find me a pair of shoes for under $100? Let's see what it finds out. Okay, so let's look at the selection that it's brought up. It's brought up some. Now, you have to remember that, of course, I am in Canada, so all the information is going to be off. It automatically knows my IP address and knows it as Canadian. So it is going to find all the information on Canadian sites using Canadian dollars. If, depending where you are in the world, it would find your particular currency in the shopping areas that you would look. So let's have a look and see what it came up with. Now, so the first thing is you'll see on the line here, it lists its results and it's come up with some ideas for us here. Okay, and as we come down, it's going to give us the highlights of the information it's found, and it's going to talk a little bit about the different shoe highlights. So healthy fit, men's orthopedic walk, so on and so forth. As we come down, we can look at shoe highlights. And as we come down further, it gives us foot pain and shoe buying tips. So we look for arch support and insoles, cushion and heel support, stable heel cup, ease of use, appropriate fit. So it gives you some information here about buying tips for the shoes. What next? If you walk long distances or stand a lot, the New Balance 605 V5 or Healthy Fit are great picks. Okay, that's good news. For quick comfort and easy wear, check out the Skechers 𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑 or 𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑. For more targeted orthopedic needs like neuropathy, OrthoFit or OrthoBalance 2.0. That's pretty interesting. Now let's have a look, and I'm going to actually choose the second one here. I'm going to go with this men's walking shoe. I like to do some walking shoes. This can be found on Amazon, and it's $35.99. So I think I'm going to go with this. Let's see what happens when I click this. Well, okay, so now this opens it up, and it's going to tell us a little more about the shoe. Now we can also click buy right from this source, and that's going to take us to Amazon to buy it. And I will click this in a minute, but it's important that you know that you actually don't buy anything through Chat GPT. You might like this, and it gives a lot more information about the shoe, what people are saying, Amazon reviews that are here. So it gives you a lot of information about the shoe before you go and you purchase it. So let's click buy. So when we click buy, it opens us up right into this Amazon site. This is the Amazon Canada site. Here's my shoe that I'm looking for. Hey, it found my size. Amazing. 11.5. This looks just about right. And come over here, $35.95, and I can just add that to my cart and purchase it within the Amazon store. Now let's just come up here and let's look at the Amazon reviews. If we look at the Amazon reviews here, we'll see that this is, now I do a lot of Amazon shopping. This is not a bad review. You get 62% 5-star, and down to 1 star is only 8%. So all in all, that is a positive comment, 4.1 out of 5, and that's a good rating for this shoe. And we found it on Amazon for $35, and it will help me with my painful feet. This is so easy to do, and ChatGPT just makes it easier. I am a 70-year-old man who has respiratory problems. There are raging forest fires in my area, and I'm worried about the air quality in my home. I'd like to buy an air purifier, but I'm not sure which one to get. I would like to get one that's under $200 and for a 1,200 square foot home with 2 bedrooms. Can you make a recommendation and give some references?
Given your concerns, I found a great option that fits your needs, the Shark Air Purifier Max. It's designed for spaces up to 1,200 square feet, which should be perfect for your home, and it's priced under $200. It also has a true HEPA filter and smart technology to adjust to the air quality automatically.
All right, let's see what we did. So as you come down in ChatGPT, we're coming down to the bottom here to our Ask Anything window. This is our toolbar here, and we're going to come over onto the right, and we're going to go down to the bottom here, and it says Use Voice Commands. When you click this, you're going to be able to dictate. Now it's opening up our dictation screen. You just talk into your microphone. It's like talking to your best friend. And it's going to search, it's going to have a conversation with you, might ask you a few questions, and you can talk to it as I did. And if you come up here, you'll see it says I am a 70-year-old and exactly what I said, and it searched the information for me. I didn't have to type this all in. So if you have trouble with keyboards, it's sort of a long rambling thing I talked to ChatGPT about. It just summarizes it all and finds the information you want. Now, when it gives a response, given your concerns, I have found great option that fit your needs. It tells you exactly what it finds, but it's now, as you come back to the main screen, you'll see that it's saved it for you, so you don't have to take notes or copy to find that. And again, this is all the information, and it'll take this information and you can further refine it, or you can do further searches on that. It's pretty cool. It's like talking to your best friend about what the best deals are in shopping. I think this is pretty cool. I'm Ron Brown with Tech for Senior, and I found a new shopping buddy with ChatGPT, and you should too. It's a lot of fun, and it's a valuable resource if you're doing online shopping. This is a new feature, just came out in ChatGPT. Give it a try. It's free and it's available in all the models. Remember that like and subscribe. All right. So let's get on with Mike. Mike, just let me say goodbye to those people over on YouTube. I'm going to be stopping the feed. If you want to pop over and participate in our show in the Q&A, we're certainly happy to do that. Let me just stop the live stream here, and you're good to go, Mike.
Okay, great. This is inspired by someone asked the other day or mentioned that they had an interest in one of these songs that I'm going to feature today. And so I made that my selection. The other inspiration is, of course, if you're a hockey fan, the Florida Panthers and the Edmonton Oilers are going to Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final tomorrow night. And, of course, I'm rooting for Edmonton being a Canadian. But, hey, what can I say? We've got a local boy who plays for the Florida Panthers in Brad Marchand. So, anyways, one way or the other. Anyhow, the person I've decided to feature today is Stompin Tom Connors, a definite Canadian icon. He was born Charles Thomas Stompin Tom Connors on February 9th, 1936, and he passed away on March the 6th, 2013. He was a prolific Canadian country and folk singer-songwriter known for his dedication to writing songs exclusively for his native Canada. He is credited with writing over 300 songs and releasing 4 dozen albums and nearly 4 million copies, selling nearly 4 million copies throughout his career. What I remember him most for was Prince Edward Island, which is the neighboring province to me here, used to have a tourism jingle, and he sang the jingle 1-800-565-7421. And I mean, you heard it so many times, everybody knew that jingle. That was one of his first big hits with me, if you will. Stompin Tom was born in St. John, New Brunswick, just down the road from me here. He experienced a challenging childhood. He spent time with his mother in a low security women's prison before being taken by the Children's Aid Society and later adopted by Cora and Russell Allward of Skinner's Pond, Prince Edward Island. At 13, he ran away from his adoptive family and spent the next 13 years hitchhiking across Canada, working various part-time jobs and writing songs. He often slept in jail cells or at the Salvation Army during the coldest parts of the winter. His musical career began in the mid-1960s when he was a nickel short for a beer in the Maple Leaf Hotel in Timmins, Ontario. And if you don't know where Timmins is, it's in the northern part of Ontario. The bartender offered beer in exchange for a few songs. This led to a 13-month contract at the hotel, and he quickly gained popularity. He earned the nickname Stompin Tom due to his habit of stomp left boot to keep rhythm during his performances. And actually, he used to carry a piece of plywood that he would put down, and he would wear out a piece of plywood quite rapidly. He signed with Dominion Records in 1969, and over the next 2 years, he released 6 original albums, a compilation, and a 5-album set of traditional music. He later co-founded Boot Records with his manager, Jury, and I can't even pronounce this one, Kuritek, and continued to release music based and focused on Canadian themes. He was a trailblazer in the Canadian music industry, getting his own label, serving as his own producer and promoter, and proving a successful career could be built by singing about Canada and staying in Canada. He was a vocal advocate for Canadian artists and frequently rebelled against the Canadian music industry to support its own. Connors was also known for wearing his black Stetson in public, even when meeting Queen Elizabeth II. He married Lena Welsh on November 2nd, 1973, in a ceremony broadcast live on CBC television, and he had 2 sons, Ta and Tom Jr.'s. Stompin Tom passed away on March 6, 2013, at the age of 77, and his legacy continues with popular songs such as the hockey song, which I'm going to feature tonight, also known as the Good Old Hockey Game, Bud the Spud, which is a classic, Sudbury Saturday Night, Big Mahara, and his enduring impact on Canadian culture. So I've included 2 links, the first being the Good Old Hockey Game, which we're going to play today, and I've also included the link for Bud the Spud, and I'll put those in the chat here momentarily. And Ron, if you'll take it away and play the Good Old Hockey Game.
I will.
And that was just for you, Monsignor Mike.
There you go. There you go. Well done. Well done. Thanks, Mike. Yes, I'd forgotten about that song. I certainly grew up with that. That's a classic for sure. So thanks so much. We are, it's top of the hour. Actually, it's a little past top of the hour. So hopefully everybody enjoyed the show today. If you have to scoot, don't forget, we do have our premium video playing in about 25 minutes. Hewie's not God. Hewie's going to be talking about God mode in Windows, right, Hewie?
I'm both.
Yeah. All right. Okay. And then
sorry, Monsignor.
Right. And then, of course, Chris is going to talk about what was new in Google Photos a year ago. And I'm going to talk about protecting your social security or social insurance number and how important that is. So that will be coming up shortly on our premiere video. Don't forget that if you have to scoot, we do have a show on Thursday. We'll be discussing all the tech news of the week. So please come in and listen to that on Thursday.